Welcome back to live coverage from Origins of WizKids World Championships. I'm Jimmy O'Brien, coming to you with my co-host.
I am the Royal Falcon, or Shaw.
Okay, so we're looking forward to a great day at Dice Masters here for round one. We've got a slightly confusing matchup here. We've got Mike Plum versus Michael Lee. Michael Lee is the famed dragon player who's kind of shifted away from that today. And
he does still have one dragon.
Yeah, so he brought Blue Eyes White Dragon, and that has actually been a super popular card that we haven't seen a ton of. But then also we've got Mike Plum, 3-time WKO winner, and yesterday he was the Nationals runner-up. That's great. Or no, sorry, not yesterday. That was Wednesday, right? Yeah, it seems.
We've had a lot of
Thursday,
events.
A lot of Dice Masters, a lot of time here. So. Let's focus on the Blue Eyes White Dragon a little bit, because that's something different from what a lot of players are doing. Gives that same flexibility that Clay Golem does, where you're able to kind of get your Elf Thief out of there and reuse for the next turn. It does something pretty fantastic, which is it kind of turns your Elf Thief into like triple energy. You're going to steal one. He comes in for free, pay a bolt, have him next turn, get a discount of 2. Can really do some nice plays for 3-cost characters. And, Michael did include a 3-cost character. He's got the Dwarf Wizard. Okay, so Michael's thinking about his role here. So fielding that sidekick turn 1 can be a little rough, but okay. So
I do find it interesting he didn't Blue Eyes that just to get a bit of ramp.
Yeah, so I can. Oh, well, he's attacking for the damage with the sidekick.
Oh, fair enough.
Okay,
all right.
Not something I was anticipating, but pretty good. One of the nice things that's come up over and over this weekend is, because of the prevalence of Elf Thief, the ability to use energy on globals during your own turn gets to be a lot stronger. And so anytime you've got someone who can get an effect when they attack and then pull them back with the Blink Transmutation Global is good. Anytime you can use something like Villainous Pact, where you're going to get the ramp during your own turn instead of waiting for your opponents. Pretty nice stuff. So, yeah, I think that it's a really subtle switch, right? And I think it's one of the things that would be easy for people to miss without sitting there watching a bunch of games, putting in a lot of reps themselves. So, we see that Mike Plum has bought an Elf Thief and an Oracle, and he's ready to do a ton of ramp, and it's not going to leave a lot of room for tempo on Michael's part.
Well, yeah, this is basically going to shut Michael down unless he can do some countering. Although he does have Spray and the Wizard as an option.
Yeah, Spray and Wizard are both pretty serious options.
Which in fact
he's going to have Constantine and Dwarf Wizard, so he's got a lot of that character-based ability blanking too. Breaker the Magical Warrior is such a hidden gem in the format. People complain, oh, actions are too strong, actions are too good, whatever. You basically got 2 options. You've got Blink and you've got Breaker, and one is a little more expensive but has the repeatability, and then, Breaker is just the slightly less expensive character option. So glad to see that someone dug into their Yu-Gi-Oh collection and pulled him out.
Well, in fact, I think we saw one on our last stream for Dice Masters as well.
Oh, okay. I think I was probably away and busy and missed out on that. So yeah.
Although that may have been Mike.
It would not surprise me.
All right. Oh, so we've got all of the anti-global options up available?
Yeah. So, yeah, but there's no energy to steal. At least, Michael was prepared for this.
Very true.
Sometimes you have to say, well, I'm gonna take the 25% chance that my opponent misses, and hope for the best, but not the case here. In the scenario where you actually roll the level 1 face and your opponent has no energy, it's probably the worst face you can end up with.
It's very true, as it's not even that effective an attacker.
Yeah, like ineffective attacker, 1 defense, kind of so what. So let's see where this ends up going next, right? Mike is kind of puzzling through things a little bit. One of the stories that I think is really fantastic that's going on outside this game is we've seen a lot of players who are making the trip from other countries and getting to actually playing world championships and give it that truly international feel that the game should end up having. So we've got people here from Costa Rica, Panama, Chile, I believe Spain. Really excited that they've all made it out. I heard there was a player here from France, but I haven't gotten a chance to try and go and meet them and find out kind of their story of what brought them into Dice Masters and what got them playing today.
Well, there's so many players here. It's hard to find some of them sometimes.
There's so many players, and that's a pretty good problem to have. It means that people have shown up with their friends, but there's also plenty of folks so that they can make some new friends.
Oh, and looks like that dwarf thief is ready to say hi to Oracle.
Ooh, dwarf wizard.
Sorry.
Yeah. We haven't seen a dwarf thief yet, but who knows what the next incarnation of D&D may bring us.
Just see so many thieves and dwarves.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Exactly. So Scarecrow, Hallucinogen Vapors was just up there on the screen, followed by Blue Eyes White Dragon. Kind of on the nose that's a pretty solid combo. If you can't get your opponent to KO Scarecrow, maybe you just do it yourself.
And it's on-demand capturing.
On-demand control is pretty nice function to have.
So Oracle has been called, as expected.
Yep. There's a lot of predictive elements as far as the dwarf wizard and Constantine. Really nice that the options that make it difficult for your opponent to play require a lot of foresight on your part. So it's not the point and click thing that people sometimes complained about. And so look, that's quite a bit of Professor X ramp there that Mike's got going.
Now, in case for those who might be new to the game, do you want to explain what was just done there?
Yeah, so Professor X's Global says you can pay a mask and you can move 2 sidekick dice from your use pile to your prep area. So as Mike is doing that at the end of his opponent's turn, he's getting to slide those energy over and make sure he rolls not only an enormous amount of sidekicks, but he's actually thinning out the dice that will get stuck into his bag. So he'll make sure that, hey, I bought those character dice, I'm going to get to roll those character dice. Some players who've been playing for a long time may remember a format without Professor X, and very different feel to it. Slightly different skill set as far as, well, I might not want to buy that one extra die because now I'm going to miss the character that I really need.
AVX only phase.
AVX only phase. It's those highly limited formats of small card pools are beloved by some players, and others are happy to be done with them.
And there's an Imprisoned play.
Okay, so Imprisoned is really huge in this format because there's just so many character dice that are very powerful and have low fielding costs. So Imprisoned is going to let Mike capture Michael's 2 characters, going to get rid of the Dwarf Wizard's effect on Oracle, so now globals are expensive again, and Michael just lost... Oh, no, I guess he had the 2 energy for that.
And it also means that Mike now can ignore Michael's Constantine.
Yeah, Constantine is not going to be putting in work. One of the issues with Imprisoned is its effect ceases to work if you deal damage to your opponent. But Mike is not going to do that till he's ready to swing for the kill with Bard, and that's one of the reasons the combo is just so substantial. Not like some of the decks we may have seen last year where you had like Gabi and Zarina doing the direct ping damage. So we've got Bolt, Wild, Shield. Depending on the play, the lineup play that Michael was hoping to use, this might not be an ideal role.
I don't know. He could potentially buy his Bard here.
Could buy his Bard here. Could pursue a Prismatic Spray. Could go down the path of 2 Constantines or get a Wizard and and be able to ramp next turn because he's going to need three energy for the wizard and then 2 energy to use for the Professor X global. Which 2 dice now for 2 days later is not the most efficient thing, but like we said, it thins the bag out. So there have been some cards previously that have been anti-global abilities, and they've been cards that people had a hard time ignoring, like Jinzo, but Jinzo was so expensive. Jinzo cost 6. And then we saw Wasp that, people would affectionately call Mini Jinzo. And Wasp cost 3. So for a lot of players early on, they said, Oracle, it's going to be tough to get to that 4 cost when it's just one more thing to hit on the globals. But you could make the choice to say, hey, I'll take the damage. It's worth paying a life to get what I want. Oracle is a soft no, but it's pretty significant.
Well, and also the fielding cost on Oracle is just amazing in comparison.
Yeah. So fielding cost matters, and that's an important consideration for sure. Really fascinating to watch the game designers pull the levers to get those meaningful trade-offs. Mike and Eric did not get to be 2 of the world's top game designers by not being creative with the economics of things.
That's very true. Looks like the Bard was missed on the first roll.
Okay, so 50% chance for Mike to hit the Bard here. If he hits the Bard, that's going to be game.
It's +3/+3 to everybody.
Yeah. And he misses the Bard again. No Parallax for the reroll. That's what Michael needed to stay in the game. He doesn't have any dice to get his own stuff going. Okay, so three sidekicks there for Mike, Elf Thief, Oracle. On one hand, he could buy another Bard and hope his odds get better. On the other hand, he can buy, Constantine and just try and continue to stabilize because his odds of getting that Bard are so good. I guess we'd missed some damage to Mike at some
There's
point.
been a couple of generics that have been coming out.
Generic energy. So it's kind of tough for that.
Would you like to explain?
So at the beginning of your turn, when you go to draw the dice from your bag, if you're unable to draw a full 4 dice from your bag, you take some damage or you lose life, and you get to have generic energy. So the energy of no type that helps you buy other stuff.
On a 1-for-1 rate.
On a 1-for-1 rate, yeah. So, and that's only when you would fail to be able to draw dice at the beginning of your turn. So if you had no dice in your prep area, no dice in your bag, and some other effects during your turn caused you to draw 2 dice, it just wouldn't have an effect. So, Michael is in a bit of a jam here because he doesn't have a way to pop that imprisoned. This is also kind of a demonstration of something a lot of the top players have caught on to, which is your basic action dice can kind of help you or they can help your opponent. And by the inclusion of Breaker, if your opponent tries to take advantage, you can pivot really quickly and you can put a stop to it.
Well, of course, Mike has also bought his second imprisoned just to maintain that option.
Yeah, so double imprisoning your opponent can be really incredibly devastating. So it's really just Michael has to hope he gets a little luckier. Yeah, so he wanted to make sure he grabbed that last imprisoned. If Mike misses the Bard again this turn, and then Michael's able to imprison, he could imprison almost that whole field.
Actually, the entire field.
So is that just like we were saying before, Oracle's total fielding cost is so low, but that's actually a detriment against cards like Imprison. And it's great to see that there's the
now that's interesting.
Yeah, so
he rerolled the sidekicks.
Rerolled the sidekicks. I guess he figures he has enough, or that if the Imprisoned goes off, there's Bard. There's that should be game. Like unless that is that Elf Thief at level 1.
Even if it is, that's
no, because then Michael can magic missile it.
That is true.
Before combat. Let's.
Which is what he's assuming.
Yeah. Yep. it's quite a bit of damage, but it's not 20, and he might not want to swing if it isn't 20.
Bard is what, plus 12 effectively right now?
Yeah, plus 12 is a pretty big deal.
Looks like he's bought that human paladin so that he doesn't get a repeat of the magic missile.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, human paladin being able to shut down magic missiles, kind of a nice touch. So let's see what Michael does here, because priority goes to him.
Yep.
If he magic missiles the elf thief, he doesn't get to ramp. But if he doesn't magic missile the elf thief and he ramps, he loses.
Yeah, so he pretty much has to, just to make Mike pass.
Yeah, and there's the great dynamic for Mike's sake that, your opponent loses the option to ramp because they don't get to do anything with those energy. Because if you attack with no character dice, good
the push happened.
Yeah, push happened. Wow.
Michael passed.
Michael passed, and he says out loud, "I misplayed so bad." It happens, It's a lot of stress. It's early in the day, and sometimes just stuff happens. So, yeah, they're joking. Please go undefeated. I want the tiebreakers, but there's just so many good players here at World Championships for Dice Masters that not everybody can have a good record. Just the science and the math of it.